I have a lot of trouble, 1, identifying positive emotions, 2, letting myself experience them, and 3, even believing that I can experience them. And I'm not so great at adapting, but again, that's why this is a process. Welcome back to Vlogmas. It's been a few days, but we're getting back to it. It is Sunday, December 12th, and Roger and I are going to take you on a kind of fun adventure today because I'm determined to spark some joy, to quote Marie Kondo, and more on that later, but let's get going. Okay, so here's what just happened. We're on our way, we'll tell you in a minute, but we're in the car, obviously, and Roger saw a sign at Tim Hortons, and you want to go ahead and explain that?
Are you gonna do this to me?
I'm going to do this to you a little bit.
It said Tim Biebs. It looked like it said Tim Biebs, and I wasn't sure what that meant. And I thought, is it? No, it's not a Justin Bieber thing. And I looked at the fine print, and it's a Justin Bieber thing.
Limited edition.
Limited edition Justin Bieber Timbits? I don't know. So yeah, right. I said, I'm going to have to get you some of those for me to eat.
Yes, because they will not be allergen-free, but he can eat them for me, and I can enjoy them vicariously. However, that kind of is a nice transition into what we're doing today.
We're getting Timbits?
No, we're not getting Timbits. We are on our way to the health food store, which is about half an hour-ish up the road. It's the closest place that we can go that has a good assortment of things that are allergen-free for me. And something really cool is starting on December 14th. My ED recovery coach actually is hosting a challenge. It's open to everyone. It's called the 12 Days of Memory Holiday Fear Food Challenge. And while I obviously have my limitations with both what I can do amount-wise and ingredient-wise, as far as the different foods on the different days, I thought, you know what? We're going to go up to this store. They often do have some seasonal things. Sorry, the lighting in here is really weird. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, they often do have a lot of seasonal things, a lot of Christmas-themed things. So I'm going to see what I can get up at this store that I might be able to challenge during those 12 days. It's the 14th through Christmas. So that's where we're going. I'm really nervous because being out in public since the pandemic started always makes me nervous. And secondly, because food shopping freaks me out. All right, so to quote Chandler Bing, sort of, when he said the meaning of the box is threefold, the meaning of this trip is twofold. Number one is to just have a joyful moment with Roger. I want to experience a joyful moment with him. And the story behind that one is one of my assignments, my homework assignments from my coach this week was actually to create a list of joyful moments that I wanted to experience or that I wanted to re-experience that I've experienced in the past, like over the next 2 weeks leading up to Christmas, and then to intentionally choose 2 of those to do this week. Well, at the end of that session, we spent probably 5 or 10 minutes going over the emotions wheel, trying to pinpoint what I was feeling because it wasn't overwhelmingly negative, but I also was having trouble putting words to it. And then I came to the realization, both at the end of the session and then in the 6 days since, that I have a lot of trouble, 1, identifying positive emotions, 2, letting myself experience them, and 3, even believing that I can experience them. All right, we are here at the Healthy Life Market, and this is the probably 4th or 5th time now that I've tried to record this. I'm very frustrated, whether it was sun on the highway peeking through the trees, creating like a seizure warning type effect, or whether it was just me having to do any number of things that I did not anticipate on the way up here. And the fact that I'm so frustrated right now is actually kind of the very antithesis to what I wanted to be feeling when we got up here. I have a hard time believing that I can live with a spirit of joy, which is kind of ironic because we have several vlogs that we filmed over the years where I actually was joyful despite some really chaotic circumstances. I've really lost touch with that side of myself over the past few years. I've just become increasingly jaded, and one of the things that my coach and I have been working on is trying to channel that joy. So with that realization about having trouble feeling positive emotions or even believing that I can, I have also sat down multiple times this week and failed to come up with a single thing to put on the list of joyful moments I wanted to experience. Yesterday, on the 11th, was the Army-Navy football game, which is my favorite football game of the year, my favorite college game of the year in just about any sport, except maybe, UK basketball. And my one thing that I had thought on the list was I want to enjoy watching this game with Roger. Well, that didn't so much happen. I spent the first 3.5 quarters of the game, so almost the whole game, in the bedroom trying to get myself out of this mental negative headspace, trying to channel the joy that we are trying to connect with this whole brain restoration process, because Not gonna lie, it's been a rough week. That's why Vlogmas is a few days late. So that didn't happen yesterday. So I thought we'd use this trip today to channel that joy and have a joyful moment. Well then, like I said, all this stuff happened on the way up here. I couldn't film. I couldn't even turn on the Christmas music because I was having to keep my hands busy, holding my neck still. All that jazz has not worked out like we thought it was. Roger made the point on the way up here, you know, the joyful moment doesn't necessarily have to be the trip. It's actually going into the store, spending that time together in the store, out of the house and all that, which is true. However, I also wanted to enjoy listening to Christmas music and singing along and just laughing and dancing in the car on the way up here. He did, however, point out we will be able to do that on the way home. So we're going to cling to that. And right now we're going to get in the store because number two, the twofold reasons that we're coming up here today is that I'm hoping to participate in at least some of the days of this challenge that my coach is actually opening up as a free challenge to the whole recovery community. So if you see this before Christmas, feel free to hop in and join the challenge. Since they will hopefully have some Christmas themed things in here that are allergen free, I'm gonna try to get out of this just frustrated headspace and channel that joy that I'm really desperately trying to believe that I can have again. Go in there, hopefully stock up on some Christmas things. So stay tuned for that. Okay, using the phone in the store really quickly because I want to bring the camera in. I just wanted to say there were several things that I thought for sure they would have in the store for the challenge that they do not, in fact, have. They're either sold out or they don't carry them at all. So that's a little frustrating, but I've still got some things I'm going to try. We'll see. I'm just kind of getting anxious now, not being able to process all of the different sensory input and all the things that are on the shelf. So hashtag real life. All right, so we're back in the car. I still have my jacket on and my mask on. My jacket smells like the store, so I'm going to take my coat off and throw it in the back. I don't know why I use the word coat and jacket there. It's a winter coat, but it smells like the store. It's why my mask is still on as well. Was slightly disappointed that they did not have any, maybe like two of the specific things for the challenge that I was looking for. One of which I thought they would have for sure, so I didn't order it on Amazon, and now I can't get it here in time, so I'm a little frustrated about that. But we found some options anyway that I'm going to try to adapt and kind of do my own thing. I do have one thing coming in the mail, and I'm just going to adapt, and like Roger and I say a lot of the times, we're going to find a way to make it work, because that's what we have learned to do better than anything just about, is learn how to make things work when they're not working. I keep cutting my head off. Sorry there. It's hard to do this camera in the car. And now, because I can't stay focused, if anything at all interrupts me, we're going to end this clip and head home and try to get back out of this frustration that I'm now in when we were just in the middle of joy. So I love this. I love having this. I love the fact that I just constantly live in a state of everything just freaking frustrating me all the time. I love it. It's my favorite. It's not at all. You can't sense the sarcasm because I know you can't see my face right now. Back in town now, and I just realized if you're on this channel, you may not know that I have spinal instability in my neck, which is why I have to wear a neck brace. It presses on my central line, so we had to like cut a piece of the foam off, but making it work, which is kind of where we left off the video. But we're going to resume that topic at home, because right now Roger had the smart idea on our way into town to drive home by the park so we could look at the Christmas lights to hopefully rechannel that joy. Because the whole ride home I've been sitting here with my fist clenched, just feeling bad. And I can't even give you a better explanation for how I've been feeling, but I don't like it. We've been listening to music and it kind of helped a little bit, but now we're going to enjoy these Christmas lights at the park. Across from the park, we have some awesomely beautiful houses as well, like, I don't know, this one right here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. Because I refuse to give up on joy and or silliness, got the Santa hat on. Anyway, to finish from earlier, Roger and I got in the car and I was very frustrated, as you saw. And it tends to happen that every time I intentionally plan to do something joyful, a bunch of crap happens to frustrate me. And I am not someone who can, at this point in my life, very easily go on with my plans once something has interrupted my train of thought or once something has gone not according to plan. I struggle a lot with very much black or white, all or nothing thinking, and that's just something that I've not been able to address yet. But as soon as all these things kept going wrong, I was just... I voiced out loud to Roger, I'm like, this was a complete failure. We shouldn't have even tried to come up here today. And the thing is, that's not true. Did I feel it in the moment? Yes. Do I still kind of feel it right now? Yeah, because I'm still a little frustrated. But it was still a major victory that we went, because I left the house. I did get some things, and they were not exactly the things that I was hoping or planning on getting because the store did not have them, but we did find some options that I will be able to use to customize this 12 days holiday fear food challenge to suit my allergen needs and to suit the current place that I am in recovery, the things that I can challenge. I obviously knew there were some things that even if they did have them at the store, I wasn't going to be able to do it because I still can't like cook hot food in the house. We can't do that because my mast cell reactions, and then there are other things that they just don't have allergen-free versions of. But we did find several things. Like I said, maybe one, maybe two were actually on the challenge list, but we found ways to adapt, and Raj helped me with that quite a bit and helped kind of remind me and helped me reframe like, okay, it's still a challenge. I'm still challenging myself, even if it's not the exact thing that's on the list, and all of the things that I got are going to accomplish that. Now, am I going to be able to actually challenge all of them? I don't know. We'll see. You'll find out as the days go by, but I'm sure as heck going to try. Hey, that rhymed. And now I'm distracting myself. Remember that thing I said about focus and how I lose focus? I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah. So this past summer, Roger and I were fortunate to be part of a conference for chronically ill Christians. It was like a one-day marriage event, and the whole theme of our talk was making it work when life's not working. So that's kind of what we've had to do today. I have been on edge all day because of all these things that happened that went wrong. And I just have to keep reminding myself. And honestly, Roger's had to remind me because I'm not so great at reminding myself yet. That's what we do. We make things work. We find ways to adapt. And I'm not so great at adapting, but again, that's why this is a process. We find ways to adapt. We find ways that will work for us. And then we just go on and choose joy in any way we can. And then if the negative feelings come up, the frustration comes up, we don't hide that, which is why I included it in this vlog, so keeping it real here. Because I'm not going to paint this recovery as a process that is all fun and, ooh, don't have any problems at all. No, that's obviously not the case. You saw me crying a few vlogs ago, big time. But there are also victories to celebrate, and this is one of them because even though it was so stressful and so frustrating, we made the trip, we did acquire some groceries, and we are going to enjoy our night at home now. Don't know exactly what we're going to do. I know that he's got to fix some dinner. I know I got to hook back up to my rocket fuel. Had to wash my hair when we got home because I think I already told you that. It smelled like the store. So just kind of bringing this all back around to the concept of joy. And I mentioned some older vlogs that we posted, and I've been rewatching those. And in those vlogs, I made a statement that I wanted to be a person who, when someone looked at me, their very first thought was, oh my gosh, I see the joy of Christ in her. I see the joy of Jesus. I see the joy in her spirit despite all of the chaos that she is dealing with in her life. And I've kind of lost touch with that person and that side of me. But that's one of the reasons I'm diving into recovery right now, because I know that as much as it sucks at times, it's the only way to ever get to that place of joy. And like I've mentioned before, freedom. So a frustrating vlog today, but ultimately still choosing joy, still moving forward, live to fight another day. See you in the next one.